dewasa.
This is Azman. Azman is 15 years old and he loves to play music. Azman was born in Malaysia, he's a bajau, and he loves to study.
Nah, dia datang sudah. Kasih petunjuk. Kasih petunjuk.
This is Safwan. He's 17. He's an athlete and he loves marathon so much. Safwan was born in Malaysia. He's a Malay and this year he's sitting for an exam. Okay, now we have Azman and Safwan. Let's group their characteristics and personalities into a graphical form, which in this case, we're going to use Venn diagram. All similarities between Azman's and Safwan's can be drawn with this intersection. In mathematics, we use this symbol to show an intersection between two sets. Azman and Safwan are considered as sets. The other word to describe an intersection is by using the term AND. Let's take another person, X, and we're gonna treat X as another new set. We define X to be a person that has the same characteristics which Azman and Safwan have. That means X is the intersection between Azman and Safwan. X is a teenager. He was born in Malaysia. He's a male and he also needs education. Okay guys, now let's use the concept of intersection using number lines. For example, if we have an intersection between two sets of interval, the first one is a bounded interval. So let's put this way. -2 until 5, this is a bounded interval, intersect with an unbounded interval starting from 0 until 7, which means 0 is not included as well as 7. Now we can translate this notation into number lines. So if I draw a number line, it starts from the lowest number, which is -2. It goes upward. And the biggest number is 7. The first interval includes -2. We're going to put like this. It goes until number 5. So it includes number 5 as well. The interval starts from -2 and 5. And then the second interval starting from 0 to 7. Note that this interval is an unbounded one, which means it doesn't include 0 and it doesn't include 7. So the numbers are in between 0 and 7. Okay, what does it mean by intersection between these two intervals? Remember that intersection means something that we share, something that we have in similar. In this case, we are looking for something that is redundant. It starts from 0 and it ends with 5. These two intervals, they share numbers starting from 0 until 5. But note that it doesn't include 0 and it includes 5. So the answer for this notation is 0, 5. And note that 0 is not included and 5 is included looking at this part. Okay? So it's very similar with the story of Azman and Safwan. We are looking for the similarities between different sets. However, the experience of life that Azman goes through is not necessarily the same as what Safwan goes through. Azman is unfortunately an undocumented child. This means he has no birth documentation nor any identity. This also means that he doesn't go to school as he is not allowed to go to any public school. Safwan, in the other hand, is a documented child. He has birth certificate and he has national ID or IC. Safwan goes to public school just like any other children. He even can choose any school that he wants to go. Now taking X again as our new set, which is an unknown person. Since we do not know who X is, we can say that X possibly can have the same characteristics as Azman's or Safwan, or perhaps the characteristic of both. In mathematics, we use the symbol of union or the term or to show the possible combination of all elements of different sets. If X is a union of Azman and Safwan, that means X possibly can have the same characteristics as Azman's or the same characteristics as Safwan, or he can have the characteristics of both. For example, he is a Bajau and he goes to school. In conclusion, a union means a combination of all possible elements of sets, not only the similar ones, but also the different ones. Now it's time to apply our understanding on the concept of union into number lines. But first, I'm going to introduce to you two different sets. The first one is A. So A is an unbounded set that begins from negative infinity up till 5. And B, I'm going to define it to be a half-bounded interval that begins from negative 1 and it ends at 6. And our task is to find the union between set A and set B. Just like before, we're going to draw a number line. And the last number ends with the value of negative infinity. We do not know. So I'm going to put 6 here. Put 0 here. We have 1. And it goes downward. The interval of set A is from 5 and it goes downward. Okay, and the second one is the value for set B. It begins with negative 1 and it ends at 6. Okay, union means the combination of all elements of sets. This means the union between A and B is all elements of set A and set B. Notice that, is 6 included? No, because 6 is not included in set B. So the interval for this union is, it starts from negative infinity and it ends with 6, but it doesn't include 6. Today we have learned about the concept of set intersection and set union using the story of Azman, Safwan, and X. The story is a real story, which across the world there are so many children who are denied access to education. While we are studying in peace, there are children who are fighting just to get education. Despite that humans may be different from one another, there are certain things that we share in common. We have hearts and we have minds. Using our hearts and minds, we can always decide how to maximize our potential and how to receive and give love towards one another.